Welcome to Gunfire Heroes. Or no, Gunfire Reborn. Gunfire Reborn. Welcome to Gunfire Reborn. This game's pretty awesome. I started playing it this week on stream, and it was really fun. I haven't finished a run yet, haven't beat it yet, haven't even beat the first boss yet. It's really hard. But I'm keep on trying. Anyway, this video is to tell you what it's kind of about, because this game has a lot to offer. Considering everything about it, it's pretty awesome. The game itself is basically a FPS sort of. I almost think of it like BioShock almost. There's no horror elements, just same sort of style where you go around and kill enemies for the guy, and then you do runs instead of in BioShock where you play through a whole game. It's really fun. This game really pushes your buttons to a point and allows you to take the risk and rewards with the voids. I think it really shows off a lot of what this game is. Now, during the first run, I didn't really know what I was doing. I'm not gonna lie. Now I've set a lot of the buttons to my mouse, so it makes it a lot easier, but I didn't have any of the buttons set to my mouse during this time, so it was just kind of I did kind of bad this first time, which is fine. It's fine. I worked my best to get this thing all the way through, but it's kind of hard. I was just trying to figure out what all my abilities did. So I kept on doing. Hitting headshots is always a good thing in any FPS. These shield guys have a little shield, but still shoot. So you kind of have to take cover and bomb them or aim really well at their brain them. That heals you. I didn't know that. It feels pretty useless because if you take any damage, it's normally to your shield or you die. So it doesn't feel super useful to have the hot buttons, but that's okay. So each of these rooms are different. They can have similarities, such as like the shield or the statues or places to take cover. But I think the actual level design is pretty good, which I don't talk about in most roguelikes. But this roguelike really always gives you a place to take cover, and I think that's always a good thing. So like here you have the statues, and in other levels you'll have like ramps and stuff that you can go, so you can have the high ground and other sorts of things like that. This game is great though. You should definitely try it. Anyway, as we move forward in this run, we kind of learn our way through the game. I kind of start looking through all the menus, trying to see what's going on. I don't want to go through a run and not understand anything by the end of it. I wanted to try to enter this void thing because it looked kind of cool, so I just kind of shot at it for a bit, trying to figure out how to get in it. Which turns out was not very smart. Didn't know I couldn't enter those. Didn't know it was an ability. But it is an ability, so you can eventually enter them. Those are the risk-reward factors, I think. The biggest ones in this game, anyway. These guys are kind of annoying. They're kind of tanky. If you hit their body, if you take body shots for them, it takes forever to kill them. But that's okay. They're not as annoying as the shield guys, so it's okay. I got a Scorching Rounds, which is kind of a pistol, almost like a... What's it called? An eagle? A deagle? Is that what it's called? It's pretty cool. It's a pretty good weapon. I used it this time, and I kept seeing it in runs, so I kept using it. It's pretty good. I like it a lot whenever I was using it. Anyway, we end the first level. Between each level, there's a little loading scene. Okay, whatever. And you can actually fire at the enemies before they can see you for like the first second if they don't notice you. if you can kind of hide. Here is the next risk reward thing. You can use up your health to do stuff. I didn't know what this meant. I figured there were more ways to heal yourself, and I didn't understand how to heal yourself at this point. So I just kept this 75% health the entire game. This is just my health total for the rest of the game. I did get a scroll. These are kind of your passives. So you have your guns, which are almost your active abilities, and your passives, which are the scrolls. They can do pretty wild things. None of them change it a lot. I think what changes it the most is the guns. I think the gun choice is very good, which is awesome. I mean, there's shotguns, there's snipers, there's assault rifles, there's just SMGs, there's all sorts of stuff. The game really gives you a lot to play with upon entering, which is nice because some roguelikes don't give you all of the tools right away, which I think is a mistake. I think you should always give your players the tools, just don't tell them how to use them. See, again, I'm trying to open this, but I just realized, oh wow, I need something to go in there. But I can go in there. You can have up to 3 weapons at a time. I have scorching rounds. What does that say? Nope, I'm not reading that. I can't read it. You can probably read it though. I just can't because it is. I'm looking at a tiny screen. Anyway. Let's see if I can actually change that. Oh, I totally can. Awesome. Okay. So, again, we move to the next room. It's just kind of interesting. I thought there would be someone down there because that seems right. Maybe it's just a spawn point for stuff. Actually, the door closes. Haha. Guess that room is meant for nothing. It's just a random hall, which is weird. I wish they would give you something for going down, like, random halls and stuff, or a chest or something. They don't have to, but it would be nice to get rewarded for exploring a little bit. Also, the grenaders are not my favorite enemy. They're probably the hardest enemy other than the shields. I just don't like shield characters in any game. But in this game specifically, since you just have gun and no melee, you can use your grenades to kind of disassemble the guys, but it does make it harder if you don't have grenades. At the end of every single level, you get a chest which gives you a artifact, or no, it's called an ancestry. That's what it's called, ancestry. Through these ancestries, I was trying to figure out what that does. It's just ammo boxes, which is great. I mean, everyone likes an ammo box. The Golden Goblet, it's an ascension, not an... So, with these ascensions, you get secondary passives. So, things such as when the energy happens, you can't do more, or you do more damage, stuff like that. It's just little helpful things. I didn't understand how energy worked yet. I didn't know that your gun just kind of does it, depending on which gun you're using. So I just assumed that I didn't have any. So I just went with the corrosion damage because I thought that sounded cool. Yeah. Again, don't understand it. Don't even know to shoot that pot yet, which is fine. To be fair, I have full ammo. I haven't really used my secondary guns very much. Anyway, stage 3 starts getting a little bit harder from what I remember. This is the part where maybe not this part, maybe not this level, maybe it's the next level. I think it is the next level. But this level starts introducing littler guys, which are really annoying to deal with, and the bow guys. No, just more crossbows. But the little guys are annoying because they're just hard to shoot sometimes. By the way, that pistol does 2,000 damage. If you didn't notice, there's a little damage pop up at the top of their head. Somehow I missed that guy twice by like centimeters each time. This guy is a craftsman. He kind of lets you evolve your weapons, which is really helpful throughout all of the run. It just allows you to just level things up, make them do a little bit more damage, and it is pretty nice. It is pretty nice. It allows you to make your already powerful weapon stronger, or you can give it to something with like light damage and a really fast fire rate, so that way it, you know, does more damage per time over time, which I think is the way that I like to do it now. Anyway, the rest of this land was boring. Let's continue. Chests, more chests. This time I pick. I don't remember. What do I pick? This time I picked Acidic Explosion, which makes things that I think it makes my grenades do more damage, which is always good. Damage for your grenades is always a good thing to have because I use my grenades pretty often against shields. Now, this is when you start seeing new enemies that are slightly harder, like the Spear Thrower, who just throws his spear and can also hit you from up front. Or this giant guy with the spear, or with the shield, who hurts you with a slash and you can only hit while he's slashing, which is really annoying. I don't like those sorts of enemies that you can only hit while they're attacking, because it just, I don't like it. I get it, but it makes me have to wait for the enemy to do stuff, and I'd rather just keep going. Anyway, this fight took a little longer than it should have because I didn't know how to deal with those guys. I didn't know that the grenade would hurt them yet, so the grenade hurts them. It makes the levels a lot easier. That guy just came from the ground. Anyway, the more things that you kill, nothing really happens actually. You just kind of want to get headshots so you kill them faster, so that you have less chances of messing up. I didn't know he was right there. Obviously, he came around the corner. Now, again, one of these kind of annoying guys. They kind of serve as a way to show you how far I've come in the second run. That I'll make in a separate video later. But the second run was pretty good. This run was alright. Now, we finally get a damaging enemy that does more damage in a little bit. The Longbowers. They are the people I will now always attack first, because they do a lot of damage. They end up with, if they hit you with all 3 shots, sometimes you will just die, which is just great, especially if you don't notice them in the room at first. It would be really cool if that gas caused this gun specifically to explode things. I think that would be cool if the characters have like synergies with the items and the guns. I think that would be cool. But this is the only character I have unlocked right now, so maybe the rest of them do. Maybe I just have the default character and he doesn't. This room actually went pretty well. It was the first time doing this room. The rest of the times I did this room, I ended up a lot worse than I did in this one. I have my shield mostly broken here, which is unfortunate. And I didn't quite understand anything at this point. So I was just kind of running around, hoping for the best and just shooting kind of wildly. I didn't know who to shoot at. I was just running around, which may have been a good strat. I don't know. Running around, you can't really get hit very much, and as long as I can get some shots off, I guess it doesn't matter, as long as I break through their shield every time. The longbows also get shield, so they're also kind of tanky, but they also do more damage than the rest of the troops. Which isn't very fair, I don't think. But anyway, you can regen for some of your spirit points, which I did just there. You can regenerate all of your health and all of your shield for that. I thought it was a pretty good thing at the time. Didn't know that the boss was so hard and would just 2-shot me, so, you know, that's okay. But during this, I had a lot of fun with this whole room, because all of the enemies in this room are very difficult. The grenadiers force you to kind of run around, so do the longbowmen. because if you stand next to a longbowman, you will just be murdered. Kind of forces you to move around a bit, or at least take cover. In this one, I did a really bad job of just taking cover and being a little bit less movie around. Because if I was moving around less, I could have done a little better, I think. And ended up picking up the Argus, which is a really cool weapon that kind of acts like a crossbow, like their crossbows, except if it was a shotgun. If it was a shotgun crossbow. I don't know why they are firing arrows and I am firing lightning or lasers or whatever I'm firing. But then I picked, I think, the simple Hex Smoke, because it allows my grenades to last a little bit longer, and I like my grenades. Finally, the boss. Kind of the hard part of this game. The boss is relatively hard comparatively. I don't think I picked up Piercing Flame because it didn't seem better. I didn't understand how all the stats worked at this point, and I didn't understand what I was looking for. To be fair, I still don't. I just keep trying. Keep trucking. Anyway, I buy one thing from him, which is my Cavalry back, because I didn't like the Argus very much, and then I got the Piercing Fire thing. It's pretty, I mean, it's alright. I didn't like the sniper at that moment, so I just kept going. I couldn't level up because I had already spent all my money on a gun. Isn't that cool? So I kept playing the game, kind of didn't buy anything here, so I decided to just fight the boss. It's the boss. His name is Luwu. Oh, that's pretty funny. Luwu, the giant ogre man, giant demon man, giant Onin. I don't know. The Argus doesn't seem to be doing much damage. I didn't understand how to do this part as well. I still haven't beat this guy. He's pretty hard, and my shock doesn't shock him for very long. And the crossbow seems to be alright. It seems like I'm just not doing enough damage to really understand, and I didn't understand what this part was. It's him. He just regens all his shield, which makes it really hard to deal much damage to him. I finally understood at this point how to play this game, how to play this boss, which is just taking out its shield. But I didn't understand any of its random didn't understand any of its patterns, which means that I ended up in a pretty bad spot, all things considered. I started doing some good damage here, and then he goes back to the top and heals his shield for a little bit longer. I still thought I could take out its shield here, which I can take out a little bit of it, but I can't take out much of it, and I just kept trying, which was not very smart. He hit me. I'm in a bad situation, but those big pillars do end up blocking for me, which is really nice because he's pretty dang difficult. So it gives you some cover, even though there's very little against this big boss who shoots giant meteors at you. So we've gotten down to half health. We've gotten in some pretty bad scenarios, and we're in a worse one. We have 7 health, and he hits us with a second laser. The lasers are hard. I don't have another revival, so I just have to give up, which is really unfortunate whenever I was pretty close to beating this boss. This game is fun, so I decided to go again. It asked me to do the Void, which I run. I went through the first floor pretty quickly this time. I understood the combat a little bit better, so it meant that I could get rid of these smaller, basically small fries, a little bit better. So this one took me a lot less time to get through all the foot soldiers. I kind of understood that I needed to take cover a little bit better. I just didn't take cover last time nearly as well as I did this time. Guess who tried to enter the void but couldn't because he accidentally didn't click the right buttons? Me! It's so cool whenever you do that, isn't it? In a video game where you wanted to do a thing, but then you accidentally don't click the right button, so you don't get to do the thing. It's just grand. It's just grand. Anyway, the void's cool, but we'll talk about that later. Maybe next episode in the third run that I took during the stream. By the way, I stream. If you want to go see my stream, I'm on Twitch. You should watch. Anyway, this went pretty surprisingly well. The first floor really had no hiccups, and I entered with two weapons. The anti-venom, which is really good, is one of my favorite weapons in the game, and the wild horse, which is also one of my favorites because it's just a giant shotgun that does a bunch of damage. It really does. Now, a thing that we have to worry about is what do we want to get? I ended up getting smoke grenade capacity, I think. Because wildfire. Wow, I wouldn't do that now. I think that lets my attacks do fire damage, so I thought, hey, it'll let me do fire and poison damage. Isn't that so great? Turns out that's not what that does. And now I'm just doing the normal damage like normal. Awesome. I got triple comeback. Triple comeback is a kind of wild thing that allowed me to do, which should have made me win this session, this run. I think I messed up a bunch during this run. Anyway, this fight's pretty subpar. I mean, I just kill some guys with grenades and kill the crossbower. Nothing really interesting happened. Except for the fact that there's another risk chest here that is just as cool as the other one. and I learned my mistake of doing 75% current health at the start of the game, where I didn't know how to heal. I didn't know that the buttons healed, so I was just stuck with the amount of health at the current moment. So I just got some coins for 25% of my health, which I thought was a relatively good thing. Next, I went back through this with the anti-venom and just took down things pretty quick. And ended up at the chest. The chest is super cool. I mean, I just get some ammo, some coin, and Toxic Smoke 1. Actually, I'd probably do Elemental Shield, because Elemental Shield looks good. I like both of them. I don't really understand fire damage at this moment, so I don't think I probably take that one. Unless if I do. That's wild. I do take it. Who would have thought? Anyway, I took the fire one, which are all kind of in the elemental state, you know, whatever. But I go to floor 4, or stage 3. I've done pretty good up to this point. Really not done very much. Not really lost much health other to just doing it myself. Now, I did decide to reload all my stuff before I entered the room, which is very smart of me. I don't know how I haven't been doing that so far. I assumed the heavy crossbower would be in that room, so that's why I kind of backed out and just checked really fast. Kind of like you would in Valorant, I guess, or any of those sort of shooter type games like that. I did pretty good here. I got a bunch of headshots. This room seems to be going well. And turns out my foreshadowing didn't work because this room was boring as heck. I thought that I lost a life here. Turns out I don't. Turns out I lose nothing here, which makes it not as fun to learn about. I took a anti-venom from him, I believe. Actually, no, I didn't. I think I kept mine because its stats are just better. Then I basically take out the rest of the floor with relative ease. Never mind. I guess I died. Triple comeback allows you to come back 2 times, and then a 3rd time with the spirit stuff, which is why it's called triple comeback, I assume, because you come back 3 times. I just used my first usage in a room where I've never died ever again. How stupid do you have to be? How stupid do I have to be to do that? I didn't know that guy was still there. He kind of snuck up behind me, so I could have lost another one. Now I'm worried. Now I'm like, what's going to happen? Because I don't know, because I just decided to keep doing my thing, which was not very smart, apparently. I took a new gun, which was the sniper that I found last time, and I decided, hey, let's try building a sniper. I've never done it before, and the shotgun doesn't seem super good for a boss. And the boss is coming up. I got the chest. Inside the chest, I think I took some ammo and took energy bolts, I believe. Maybe energy blade. I don't quite remember. I think I take energy bolt, yeah. Which I think gives me some extra charges on my grenade, which is super good. Extra charges on my grenade are always going to be good. Now, extra charges on the grenade were cool and all, and they allow me to do things like this, where I just plow through enemies with shields without having to shoot them in the head a billion times, because I can't aim worth anything in this game, apparently, even if they're just CPUs. Isn't that awesome? My aim is so good that I can barely hit CPUs. Anyway, this floor is when it, again, starts to get a little difficult. I use my sniper a little bit because it does a lot of damage in one short burst, and it allows me to really kind of gauge where their head is from a far ways away. I thought I could maybe do a couple kills in one, but I cannot. Turns out the bullet does not go that far. Now, this room goes in waves, always. This floor is always in waves, and the waves are less apparent than they are in the other rooms, which is why this level is always kind of difficult, because it seems like things just spawn. So you kind of, as I've gone better at this game, I've kind of been able to move to a point where I understand where they will spawn and how they'll spawn. Stuff like that. The easy stuff. Easy stuff. Anyway, this room went pretty bad. I lost another triple comeback, which means I have only one more for the boss. If I don't die again in this room, oh god, what's gonna happen? The longbowmen just keep killing me, and it's because of the fact that they just do a billion damage, and I didn't know that. But I got through the room. Wild, right? I got through the room. It really didn't look like I was going to, with any charges left that I could regen with. But I did. I made it through a little bit further than I had before. I ended up with the Star Devourer, or at least I thought I would. Instead, I kept my anti-venom because I like it a lot, and the sniper is pretty good too. So there's no real reason for me to stop. I think I just continue moving forward into the next room, which turns out is still a part of this floor. I thought the floor was over. No. It stopped me and made me keep going. So good. I'm so good at this game. So, it ended pretty well. At least I believe it did. We fought. And in the end, we prevailed. We killed the last guy. The heavy crossbowman, who's just way too ginormous for his own good, and ended with another chest, and still one life left. This is where I should win. This is where I'll win. I can beat the last boss because last time I was so close. Last time I got to the point where I was like, I can probably kill him. Then I entered the boss room again. For the second time in one stream, which doesn't... Well, it does happen a lot, because I play a lot of roguelikes. But this first boss, again, is at my throat. I decided to start this time with the anti-venom, which was super fast and dealt a lot of damage really fast, so maybe it could shred through his shields and maybe deal some poison damage to his actual health. Turns out that doesn't actually work that way, and it just does damage to his shield, and I don't think he can take venom damage, which is just cool. Now, the laser, as before, is just hard for me to deal with. I don't quite understand where I'm supposed to be, how I'm supposed to do things. for that laser attack at this moment. Turns out I should probably just be dashing during it or getting behind cover, which sounds like a normal shooter game. Sounds like normal FPS. And maybe I can just move to the side. Turns out sometimes he just doesn't aimbot, which is wild. But then he just keeps aiming. He does his thing. He runs up to me with a laser, which is not super fair. And then this thing. That thing is what has ruined most of my runs of this game by myself. Now I know that during this he actually spawns little guys that are really there just to give you extra ammo. They aren't really going to hurt you unless if you leave them there for a long time. I learned that you can shoot the little vials to get some extra ammo if you're running low. I wasn't really running low. I don't know why I thought I was, but I did, so there's that. I probably should have been using left click here because it allows me to do multiple shots. See? Look, like that. Wow. Brainwaves. Who would have thought that I think the same as myself? Anyway, so I keep using this left click because honestly, it's just pretty good. I start using my normal weapon for some reason that doesn't have any bonus damage. It just doesn't lose any ammo. So it's nice for smaller enemies. I don't know why I was using it for the boss. I should have been using the actual ammo for the whole time. You can get a little bit of extra damage here if you do it right at the beginning and then just end up shooting these guys that blow up when they drop, which is awesome. It's always awesome to have little explodey guys. They don't hurt the enemies, I don't believe. I think it's just me. I think it would be cool if you could let it like lead them to the boss and hurt them with it. I kept doing this boss fight for a little while. It's really pretty difficult, this boss fight is, because he does a lot of attacks, and if you aren't using the cover well, he will just kill you because you straight up don't have enough shifts, you straight up don't have enough runs to get out of his way a lot of the time. So you have to improvise a little bit, be able to move a lot. I don't know why I was still using that weapon. And finally I switched to the sniper, which just does a lot of damage really fast. I mean, look at that. Look at that. It was pretty good. Now, back to the little guys who spawn, and we just take them out one at a time. Just kind of slowly. They give me ammo. They're good guys. I keep doing my thing, running through the enemies, hoping for the best, and shooting the enemy. I haven't lost 3 lives yet, which is good. I haven't lost 3 yet. I haven't lost any yet. But I keep taking damage, and I keep not being able to regen my shield fast enough sometimes. So it makes it a bit hard to go through this battle. This boss fight is fun. I would recommend this game to anyone. I decided to revive here, which costs some of your stuff that you're allowed to do with your talent points. I just kept going, killing these little guys, hoping for the best. In most cases, I would say you should play this game. This game is wonderful. It has multiplayer. It has a lot of things that just allows you to play the game with a lot of fun. If you play games with your friends a lot, or you need a game to play with your friends and you want to play a roguelike, you should try this game out. It's worth it. It is totally and utterly worth it. It's $20 on Steam, and honestly, I haven't played very many $20 games like this one in a long time. I did lose, but I had a fun time. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. You don't have to subscribe, actually. Just like the video or show it to someone else. I love this game. You should too. It's really fun. And it lets you show your talent at FPS to your friends, even if you kinda suck. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.